Welcome to the Georgia-Florida Baseball Show, brought to you by Georgia Showcase Baseball and its owner, Coach Ben Howes. Ben, how we doing?
Doing good, Kevin. How are you?
Man, I'm great. I am great. Today we have a special guest. And is it okay if I say that it is the red-hot hitting KJ White?
Appreciate you. Thank y'all for having me on.
Yeah. I did, no offense, I did scroll through. You swinging the bat pretty good right now.
Yeah, I don't even want to know the numbers.
I'm not gonna tell you.
My dad told me numbers is just a representation of what you've been doing lately. So that just means I've been taking a lot of good swings. So
100%. Now KJ is the second baseman for Southern University, and they had a big win a couple weeks ago against LSU. That's kind of one reason we wanted to have him on. Also, his journey to a scholarship in college was it had its ups and downs, and it started where he needed to work very hard to get where he has gotten today, and we want to tell that story as well because we like to talk about self-evaluation and trying to get better and things like that, and we're going to do all of that after this.
This is the Georgia-Florida Baseball Show, brought to you by Coach Ben Howes with Kevin Perkins from Surrounded by Sports.
And we are back. We would like to thank our sponsors, Towns, Davis and Associates, LLC, Winning Millions, Fighting for Justice, Fighting for You, and Arden's Garden, Atlanta Source for juices, smoothies, and plant-based foods. Also, remember to like, comment, subscribe to this podcast. If you comment, our sponsor, Showcase Apparel, has a unique gift offer, and if you stay tuned after the show, we will talk to you about that a little bit. KJ, you get this win versus LSU. You guys put up 12. You guys tend to put up a lot of points anyway. You guys score a lot of runs, but you put up 12. You get this huge win there. And tell me, did you realize what a big win that was?
I'll say like.
Oh, by the way, KJ, do you recognize that guy?
Yeah, that's my guy right there, Coach Ben.
What's going on, son? How you doing?
What up, Pops?
Oh, nothing much.
Oh, we got Pops on here. I didn't even know he was going to tune in.
Right. Surprise. What's up, Kelsey?
Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. Appreciate the opportunity and the time.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you guys for the invite.
We have the head baseball coach of Westlake High, Kelsey Smith. Thank you for coming on. And we were just talking to KJ about whether or not he understood the how huge that win at LSU was. Go right ahead, KJ.
I mean, for me, like, I feel like I've been playing the big games my whole life. So I was kind of going at it like it was another game. I really wasn't like too stressed about the result. But after we did win, like our coach just broke down the history of like what we had just did and kind of how we had just kind of made history. Like we showed kids around the world that look like us. They're like, bro, y'all can do it too, no matter where you're at. As long as you got a chance and as long as you got 3 outs and 9 innings, you can go out there and win the game. So that's kind of how I looked at it. I just wanted to go out there and give him my best. And luckily, it ain't no time clock in baseball. You still got to throw strikes and hit it. So went out there and won. So.
Okay, at what point did you see your picture on the cover of AP?
Let's see. We played on a Monday. I woke up Wednesday morning. My dad, he texted me. He was like, wow, this is crazy. It's crazy how God works.
Yeah.
And, he usually don't text me anything in the morning besides like a Bible verse or something like that. But when I saw that, I tapped the link he sent me and I saw I was on the front of AP Sports and it was like, wow, like it's really, my dream is really coming true. Like.
Right. Absolutely. Now, Coach, how did that feel for you?
It was a blessing. I actually had a friend of mine who I put a message out, and a friend of mine messaged me and said, "Had you seen this?" And when I clicked on it, I just couldn't do nothing but smile and just thank God for the many blessings that He's allowed to happen. But yeah, it was a great experience to see that. You see your child work hard and start seeing the results take place for them.
Absolutely. Now, along those lines, Ben, what gave you the idea that we needed to have KJ on the show besides the big win?
Well, KJ is probably the perfect representation of what baseball is all about. With the adversity that baseball has for these kids, and I've been knowing KJ since he was a baby. I coached up under Coach White at Decatur High School when we started. When I started, I was coaching up under Coach White. And as we went on, KJ, he got to be a little bit older and started playing baseball. And I had an organization back then. I think it was the Georgia Expos, and KJ was probably one of the youngest kids that we had in the program. And at the time, we had a major team and we had I think a developmental team. And at the time, KJ had all the fundamentals. And you knew he was going to be a good ball player, but at the time he just wasn't ready for that level at that major level, and it kind of hurt a little bit not to have him playing on that major team, and but at the same time, Kelsey knew that KJ had the makeup to be that guy as he is now, and he never took that to heart. He never took that as a detour to where KJ's is at right now. So I say all that to say that the adversity that KJ has gone through all his career is now starting to he's starting to see the benefits of everything that he's gone through. And he's reaping the fruits of his labor right now. And I just commend Kelsey for what he's done over the years with KJ, because sometimes, with me, I go to a lot of these high schools and, I run a lot of tournaments and I use a lot of these fields around the county. And when KJ's here on the off season, I will go to the field sometime to clean up early in the morning. And I'm like, man, who was that down there on the fields this early? And it's KJ down there hitting ground balls. He's taking ground balls. His dad's hitting ground balls. And I could come back later on that night and, and just kind of, look around and see what's going on. And he's still out there. And I'm like, okay, this is a testament of what this kid is all about. He's all about hard work and perseverance. And he never wavers. He's never wavered, and he's always played with a chip on his shoulder. And it's just a testament of what Kelsey has done with KJ throughout the years. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted him on this show, to kind of tell the youth, these kids around here now, what hard work does, and where hard work will get these kids. And just believing in God, and KJ's is a God-fearing kid, and his dad has instilled that. Him and his mom has instilled that in him throughout the years. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted KJ on the show.
Great reason. Now, at that young age, and you're not on that first team, did you guys devise a plan on working harder, or did you guys just stick to the course that you already had going? KJ, you can answer first. Or do you remember that far back?
No, I remember it vividly. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I remember it. I think, like, I try not to take it too hard to heart, but like, it definitely was in the back of my mind, like, probably till I signed in college. Like, remember this. And no slight to coach or nothing like that, but it was just, for me, it was just like, I hold myself to a standard to where it's like, when it's all said and done, I want to be the greatest person to ever touch this ball. So I just felt like, just got to work harder than everybody else. My dad always used to tell me, like, having a dream is cool, but it's easy to have faith when the work at the match. So, faith without work is dead. And I always had faith in my abilities, but I always knew I had to outwork everybody, because we've always heard about the guys that were talented. I'm from Atlanta. Everybody's talented. Everybody's good. But what separates you from being good is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. You can always be talented, but if you don't have hard work behind that, the talent's going to run out. So, nowadays, I don't feel pressure anymore. I fall back to what I work on. I fall back to my practice. So, just all this hard work and practice is finally paying off, and I'm just glad that it's not in vain. So,
Right now,
Yeah,
Coach, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Just run
No,
with it.
you go ahead.
No, sir.
No.
I want you to run with it. Tell me more.
So I definitely, my wife and I, his mom, and when we had him and we started him in baseball, and Coach Howes was with me at Decatur. One of the things that helped me as a coach is when I became a parent. And then one of the things that, and it's interesting that Coach Howes and I, we really raised our sons together. And one of the things we talk about is, a lot of parents, they come into the game of baseball and I always kind of looked at it like, okay, I'm a coach, I have experience, do scouting, all of those things. But for my child, I paid attention to dads that already had kids that I coached, and I listened to conversations. And like Coach House just said, I watched the parents who already had kids before my wife and I had KJ and our daughter Kaylin, and we really paid attention to kind of things that we want to use, the things that we want to avoid. And one of the things we talked about is what's the plan. And so when Coach Howes, when we talked about the Georgia Expos, I looked at development and reps. I wasn't chasing trophies and trying to be on the best team. I was more interested in his development and looking at the long goal, looking at the long-term goal. Because I was blessed and fortunate to play at Jackson State University. So as a college player, in my mind, I said, if my son wants to do this, I'm not going to live through him. I want him to have his own love for the game, have his own experience for the game, so that he can enjoy what I enjoy personally about why baseball, I think, is the best sport that there is. I believe it's a spiritual game. And so in that plan, we were strategic about making sure he get quality reps, making sure he understands that your talent only gets you to the door. But as he said, work ethic, okay? You got to outwork the guy because the work enhances the talent. I always believed in that. And then he was always in the dugout, literally in diapers. My wife, when we was at the Decatur together, Ben remembers, would bring him in a stroller or whatever. And, as soon as the game is over, I wanted to, have him around the game and things like that. He would watch the game with me. I grew up I'm from St. Louis originally. So I grew up listening to St. Louis Cardinals baseball. So I learned it from an auditory perspective than visual. And so I ordered the MLB Network. He sit there, watched the game with me as a baby. And so he was developing his own understanding of how to play the game, the intangibles of the game, those little things. Because I knew that the doctor said, he's going to be smaller, but his size is going to come later. So, of course, kids that are younger, that are bigger, of course, they have success maybe a little earlier. So I just worked on the skill development. I put him around good people that I felt would enhance that plan of development. And, one more thing I'll say, I necessarily didn't want him to come to Westlake to play for me because, I wanted him to have his own way and have his own experience. But I remember when he was 12, KJ, I don't know if you remember this, he sat my wife and I down and said, he gave basically a demonstration of presentation of mom and dad. I want to play at Westlake. I want to play for dad. And I said, now, you know what comes with that. Everything is earned. Nothing is given. And so as a part of the plan, he understood that you got to outwork everybody. And in doing that, he was able to accomplish region player of the year, all state selections. And so everything he's gotten, it hasn't been given. It's not easy being a coach's son, but he handled it very well. And now that he's at Southern, as a part of that continued plan, he's continued to develop and to continue to grow. Most importantly, off the field with his faith. Because if you leave God out of this process, it doesn't matter what your success is on the field. So starting with that, and then his classes, and then of course the success on the field.
Awesome. Now, KJ, piggybacking on what he's talking about there, you told me your junior year in the off season, you started organizing workouts for you and your buddies. I think Jamie Benson was a part of that group.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even call it a grind because I feel like when you say grind, it's kind of like I'm checking the box. I'm just doing this because it's a chore. But Nah, I mean, we were at that point where it's like, bro, we old enough now to where like all our dreams are coming true. I mean, we was getting offers from colleges and everybody was just kind of taking their own little route to the top. So it was just like, man, we might as well link up and do it all together. And of course, like Coach Ben always says, like Showcase is kind of like home base for me on the east side. Like whenever I want to go work out or hit indoors when it's cold, I can always call up Jamie or Coach Ben and he'll open the door for me. It's been times like nobody else is in there but me and my dad, and we just in there working out. So when it got to a point where I was driving, it was nothing for me to call Jamie and be like, "Where you at? Hey, I'm finna come get you from the house. Let's go work out. Let's go get better." Just challenging each other, turning the machine all the way up, hitting with wood off the machine, breaking wood bats. Like it didn't matter. We was just always in there working out, trying to get better, enjoying the game. It was never like a have to. It was more like a we get to, like we get to do this. Like this is what we love to do. And then from there, like I mean, like I said, like growing up, I wasn't really on the best travel teams, but teams would pick me up. Teams would like they would see me, they would play against me, and I would be the only player that was like really out there doing anything. So they would be like, you know what, we need that kid on our team. So one of these weekends, I was fortunate enough to get picked up by the Georgia Heat, another travel team in the Atlanta area, and that's where I met some of my best friends. Tamar Johnson, RJ Austin, Caleb Koss. I mean, just to name a few, Cam Collier. Like we were all on the same infield and just playing off of each other. We used to play rock paper scissors before the game on who was gonna play shortstop that day. Like just out there having fun, and that's when I realized like how fun baseball could be, because we go out to Florida in the ESPN Worldwide tournament, and Tamar hit like 15 home runs straight. No kidding.
Right.
And we were just out there like dominating teams. Like it was insane. It was just like, man, we 12 years old and we realizing like we got a real chance at this. So from then on, like you said, that same summer, I made a whole PowerPoint and presented to my parents like, hey, I gotta go to Westlake. Like it ain't no way I'm going. No offense to any of the schools on the east side, but it ain't no way I'm going. I gotta go to Westlake. Like I gotta have my own. I'm seeing Lawrence Butler and Miles Austin. I gotta Lawrence, who's in the league right now. I gotta follow that up, and I gotta make my own legacy. So from there, yeah, when it came down to like junior year when I started driving, I really saw like it's time to put it in full gas pedal. It's time to put the pedals in the metal, and I started working really really hard, like really really hard. Like it would be times I probably didn't come home till like 11:30 at night. My mama used to be like, "Why you coming home so late? Make sure you getting your homework done." And I was getting it done for the most part, but I was really, really laser focused on baseball. Like I didn't want nothing else but my dreams to come true. And once I seen that I had a little bit open of the door, I tried to kick it in.
Right.
And
now, Ben, that's the reason for places like Showcase Baseball, right? You got a kid, he at 10 o'clock at night, he's taking swings with a baseball bat at the facilities. He's not out there messing around, getting in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. I would come up here at night to lock the doors, to make sure everybody's gone. And, I would see cars up here and I'll be like, man, what's going on in here? And, KJ and Jamie and, and his buddy, their buddies are in here, swinging. And I'll be like, all right, man, y'all just lock it up when you're done.
Right.
And be careful going home. And I would call Kelsey and I'll text him and they're like, hey man, the kids are okay. They're in the facility hidden. So it's cool to see that. To see that passion. It's cool to see that passion. And the kids are definitely on a mission, man. And KJ, I wish you well, man, and continue to work and keep your faith, and good things are going to happen for you.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
That's good. We're gonna get a break real quick. We're gonna come back and then we'll talk about just 2 or 3 things and we'll wrap it up. Okay?
Sounds good. Appreciate the opportunity.
We would like to thank our sponsors, Towns, Davis and Associates LLC, Winning Millions, Fighting for Justice, Fighting for You, and Arden's Garden. Atlanta's source for juices, smoothies, and plant-based foods. Also, remember to like, comment, subscribe to this podcast. If you comment, our sponsor, Showcase Apparel, has a unique gift offer for you. Stay tuned after the episode to learn more about that. Now, you get down to the All-American game. You told me, KJ, and you're committed to an HBCU, and that was kind of the first time for you that people said, hey, this is unique that you've chosen this path. You want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah. So it started, like I said, that fall I was working out a lot of Showcase. So I ended up going to the MVP All-American games down in Florida. And I mean, I was just out there being me. I mean, just having fun. Like, and guys came up to me and they were just like, man, you're really good. Like, I've never seen you play before. Where you been at? And I was just like, I mean, I'm me. But yeah, I started getting a lot of media attention after that because it was kind of just like, wow, who's this kid? He's interesting. We need to follow him. That was my first time really dealing with like kind of getting some social media. I wouldn't say clout, but like recognition for my skills. And I really wasn't too caught up in it because I understand, like, I mean, like I said, we're in Atlanta. We've all seen the kids that got caught up on social media and now they're not playing no more. Or, people telling you you're good, but it's always about staying focused on that ball. And I mean, nothing else happens besides that ball because the best players in the world have millions of people watching them every day. But if they can't stay focused, then they don't get paid. So I just always wanted to stay focused because I understood, like, as quickly as it's given, it could be taken away. So
100%. Now, you had mentioned, and both of you, if you want to touch on this, the HBCU route, Southern did a good job of like financial packaging to make sure that this was a good place for you guys. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's, I think, really important too, because a lot of people go to school and when they're out, they spend the first 30 years of the rest of their life paying off that college degree that they got.
Now, Kevin, I can tell you, his mom and I, from the financial perspective, we, as a part of that continued plan I talked about earlier, we started looking at colleges in the 9th grade. So we took him to like the University of Tennessee, Kennesaw State. I took him to camps in the Southeast and a little bit throughout the country. But I also hosted the HBCU Showcase here at Westlake. And that was also the same camp that Lawrence Butler, Taj Bradley, there was 3 major leaguers that came out of that particular camp that's on major league rosters today. And KJ, as well as Cameron Bird, were the 2 of the smallest little kids at this particular camp. So definitely it was a definitely an experience in terms of seeing that development. And I think that's, like I said, when it comes to the plan, that's when he decided that, hey, I want to go to Westlake because of the experience and the notoriety. But the last thing I'll say before I got to go in just a second.
Yes, sir.
Being a Jackson State graduate, it was somewhat of it was interesting. At the same year that he made the decision to go to Southern and Jackson State played for the 2021 championship. And right before that time, he made his decision to go to Southern. He let me have it, just to say the least. But we looked at the economic aspect in terms of how much school costs, how much baseball scholarship money is available percentage-wise, and then what it would look like in terms of also applying for other minority scholarships as well.
Absolutely. As we start to wrap up, KJ, you told me, and I think this is
I'm going to have to go real quick because I got a class change.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate Ben. I appreciate you, Kevin. I appreciate you doing this. It's definitely appreciated. KJ, proud of you. Love you, son. Keep doing what we always talk about. Keep God first in whatever you do. Your mom, Kayla, and I are so proud of you. Grandma, Grandpa, Papa, and most importantly, Grammy, your guardian angel is always watching over. So love you, son. Keep doing well.
Love you too, son.
Appreciate you guys.
Oh, man, thank you so much. Thank you. That's beautiful, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
As we wrap, KJ, you said they moved, you were batting leadoff some, you batted second some, they moved you down to 9th. Like I said, you're white hot right now. You told me you took that and you just said, okay, here's how I can take advantage of this scenario. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, me and my friends, we always had this thing. As long as you in that as long as you in that lineup, you ain't got no chance. You ain't got no reason to be upset. So it's a team game. It ain't no iron team. So I just took it as an opportunity to show my skills, to show like, hey, if I'm finna get a lot of fastballs, I'm finna make it to a point to where I'm the only 9-hole getting a bunch of curveballs. So,
Right.
you know, I mean, I'm taking a lot of good swings right now because I just understand, like, understanding the plan, understand what I'm trying to do when I go up to the plate. I'm not gonna wow nobody, but I mean, I'm gonna find my way on base, and everybody needs somebody that's gonna get on base. So, just having a plan, not trying to pull off the ball, trying to hit the ball left field from the left side and right field from the right side. So, as long as I keep doing that, I would be able to stay in the lineup and be able to keep showing my skills and help my team win.
That MLB network turned you on to Jose Reyes.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Your dad being a St. Louis guy, he didn't like that, huh?
Well, see, back in the day, right, we had this whole little thing going on where we had my favorite players growing up, Jose Reyes, Ricky Weeks, which is crazy, right? Because that's my uncle, and Rafael Furcal, because he played with the Cardinals the year they won the World Series, and I remember just like I probably watched all 162 games that year because they had Albert Pujols, Lance Berkman, Yadier Molina. I mean, I could go on and on. I remember the whole line, and I just remember like, wow, like I could like literally see myself doing that. Like I could see myself doing that. Like,
right.
so it was just like from there, like I took a liking to those guys because it was like they weren't the biggest guys. They weren't like, you see guys nowadays like Aaron Judge, like they weren't physical specimen, but they were still out there. Like people came to see them play.
100%.
And that told me like baseball is a sport to where it's like it's no fluke. Like you'll never hear somebody having a fluke hitting 300. Like it's never a mistaken 300. You can never, you know what I'm saying? Like football, 17 games, you can kind of get away with that for 2 years. Like, oh, he's a good player, and then he get exposed when he goes to the Super Bowl or something like that. Like, yeah, that doesn't happen in baseball. You have to really. It's 162 games. You never mistakenly win a Cy Young award. Like you have to really be good. So baseball is like life. Like it's the truth. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like you could just wake up and fake it till you make it. Like you really have to be out there and be good, or else you're gonna get exposed.
100%. My least favorite phrase is "fake it till you make it." That's so whatever, dude. Get in there and work.
Yeah.
Don't fake nothing.
Exactly.
But anyway, I think that's who you are, KJ. The thing about they when you get moved to ninth, you look at a scenario when you go, okay, how am I the best inside of this scenario? When you don't make the A team as a young man, you and your father devise a plan. When you're trying to get better and you finally see the wheel rolling and you're doing well, you get your buddies and you go, let's go work out more. I think you're a great example of a young man who figured out what he wanted to do early on and went after it. That work ethic helps you in school. It helps you grind you don't like the term grind, and I agree with you now. You convinced me. But it helps you work hard in a school environment, in a team environment, in a family environment. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like for me, like I always tell people that, like, a lot of people our age, like college is the only time where you really get to mess up and you don't get reprimanded for it. Like, this is your time to figure out what you want to do in life.
Right.
Well, for me, I've been knowing what I want to do in life since I was 3 years old. Like,
Right.
it's never been a plan B, plan C. Like, it's always been my dreams are gonna come true. So I understand that, like I said, like faith goes so far, but you got to meet faith with work. And I understand that, like, I'm willing to put in the work. If somebody came to me right now and said your dreams will come true, but you had to put in 10,000 hours of work, I would find a way to find extra hours outside of the 24 hours that you're given to get to those 10,000 hours to make sure my work got done. Like, that's just how devoted and dedicated I am to making sure my dream comes true. And I mean, like I said, I made a promise to my grandma before she passed that until they take these cleats off my feet, I'm gonna work my hardest to make my dreams come true. So I promised that I would never stop, and I mean, I'm seeing the rewards of it right now. So
awesome. Ben, wrap us up by telling us how great all this is, how good this makes you feel.
Well, it makes me feel good, man, because I know where KJ's come from. I've seen it from the beginning, and just seeing him reap the benefits of all his hard work that he's put in over the years, and seeing the hard work that he puts in on the off season, even when a lot of people don't see it, you know, that's when that's what KJ is about, is working when no one's watching. And I think that's why he's where he is now. And I'm enjoying seeing his success and where he's going in the future, and the future's bright for him.
Awesome. Ben, how can people get in touch with you?
My IG is showcase_baseball GA. My direct number is 678-469-5994. And my email address is showcasebaseball.georgia spelled out @gmail.com.
Awesome. KJ, do you want people to know your socials? You can if you want.
Yeah. My Instagram is at THE KJ White. It's the same thing on Twitter, and those are the only two socials I really use.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you for having this idea. KJ, thank you for giving us your time. I hope you folks enjoyed the show. Hang in there for a little bit and you'll find out how you could win something from Showcase Apparel. And thank you. First of all, thank you very much for watching this episode. And again, thank you to our sponsors, Arden's Garden, Atlanta's source for juices, smoothies, and plant-based foods, and Towns, Davis & Associates, LLC, earning millions, fighting for justice for you. But Showcase Apparel, who is also a sponsor of this show, obviously that is connected to Georgia Showcase Baseball, is going to be offering a deal for you if you like, subscribe, and comment on these episodes. Ben, what are we going to do for folks?
Well, Kevin, for those that are subscribers, we're going to offer them a free T-shirt, courtesy of Showcase Apparel, and that T-shirt will be the representation of your organization. If you have a travel team that you're connected with, we're going to make a customized T-shirt in your size for you. You know, whatever team that you're representing, we're going to make we're going to have a free T-shirt for you guys. So the way that you're going to get the T-shirt is you're going to comment in a section, and we're going to choose which comment that we prefer, and we will get the T-shirt to you by DM. You have to go into my direct message on Showcase_baseball GA, and we will get your information and we'll get the T-shirt shipped out to you.
Awesome. All you got to do is like, subscribe, comment. We'll pick a random person every episode. Send them a shirt.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.